Hey everyone, it's K.Short and welcome to Short Talk Sunday. Tonight we're going to be talking about the idea that gender is fluid. And so the inspiration for this topic is the other day I was working with somebody and they said that they believe that there's only two genders. And that, for instance, they used the example, if someone identifies as bisexual, he said that you have to at least like one over the other. So if this is males and this is females, you have to like one over the other. There is no 50-50. So for me, that disagreed with my belief system. After receiving a degree, taking a couple WGS classes and those classes that you have to take in your liberal studies courses, I've learned the difference between sex and gender. And so my biggest argument was the difference between sex and gender. I feel like that there is more than just two on both ends. And so when it comes to sex, today we're going to be talking about only the two that the majority of people believe that there are. Even though I've been taught that there are 5 out there, I have not been educated on that yet. We're going to talk about males and females. The definition of sex, from what I've learned, is the biological, physical characteristics of men and women. When it comes to gender, according to American Psychological Association, that gender is socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, etc. that a given society considers appropriate for men and women. I think if we were to look at that definition in itself, socially constructed roles, like I'm thinking actors, actresses, these are your roles that are given to you. This is how you're supposed to act in this role, in this character. Behaviors, activities that a given society, the United States, considers, not even true or false or right or wrong, but considers appropriate. This is appropriate. This is how you should act. And if you don't act this way, we're not going to be as accepting. But if you do act this way, everything will be fine and dandy. But for me, through my experience, what I've learned, and like I always tell you all, I'm only speaking of my experience only, that gender is fluid. I feel that it's a gray scale. I don't feel like anything is just black and white anymore. I don't think it's just right and wrong and true or false or the sunrise and the sunset. I mean, look at the oranges, look at the yellows. What about the blues and the greens? To me, that's a gray scale. And so even just like that shirt I showed you all, the trans shirt that I wore about my experience of being a queer woman of color. Look on the back of that shirt. Those are a whole bunch of genders that's just on one t-shirt. What about all of the other t-shirts we could fill with genders on it? I even have this clip from the L Word, so check out this clip really quick.
I thought Jenny was straight. Dana, most girls are straight until they're not. And then sometimes they're gay till they're not.
True, but then there are also the ones that never look back, right? And you can spot them coming a mile away.
How can you tell? You read the signals. That's my problem.
Dana, it's not a problem. All right, no. Sexuality is fluid. Whether you're gay or you're straight or you're bisexual, you just go with the flow.
Welcome back. I hope y'all enjoyed that clip. A lot of people walk through the world very curiously. I can't really think that people walk through the world saying, I only like men, I only like women, or I only like dogs and cats. I think there's some people that are more than willing to allow a cat into their home or a dog into their home if it's their friends, and they'll play with them for 2 seconds, and okay, now you could go home now. But those 2 seconds, I think people are afraid to live for those 2 seconds or afraid to explore those 2 seconds. For me, it's really sad because a lot of us will live our whole life not exploring because we are afraid of what those socially constructed roles has told us how we're supposed to live our lives, how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to speak, how we're supposed to walk through the world, how we're supposed to dress, how we're supposed to think. And I know for myself, in my personal experience, as you all know, this is how I dress. But because of how I dress, in the more masculine part of the scale, people say, oh, you dress more masculine, so you must only like women, or you want to be a man, or you want to live in this role that society has constructed for us. But this is completely opposite from the truth. For me, I struggle with wanting to explore other genders. I find myself having to explain myself, well, I also like men too. If there's other genders out there, I can't say if I do like them or not, because honestly, all of us are too afraid to live those other genders and live through those roles, and I can't really say if there's other ones that I like. But I've found myself experiencing having to come out and say, oh, I like the male gender also, those who identify that way. And it's difficult for me to say that because people are like, what? I don't understand. Aren't you a lesbian? It's like, no. I like girls. I like boys. There's some people that are attracted that are androgynous and don't even fall into that. And so I just want you all to know that if you ever feel ever curious about other things, about your sexuality, about anything, I just want you to know you're not the only one going through it. And it's tough to say, screw you to the world, I'm gonna go do what I want to do. I'm gonna go explore what I want to explore. I'm gonna go kiss whoever the heck I want to kiss. But like I said, I feel like there's a difference. Sex is the stuff that's in between our legs. Gender is a completely different story. And to leave you all on a note, sexual orientation is who you go to bed with, and gender is who you go to bed as. So recognizing that there's a lot of genders, there's not just two, and there's more than two sexes, and that at the end of the day, we're just human beings. At the end of the day, we're just living this life, having this experience. And I think if giving a middle finger to whatever society we're a part of, whatever community we're a part of, if that's liberating to us, then do it. At the end of the day, we're human, and we have to live our life the way that we want to live it. And at the end of the day, who freaking cares? Who cares if you're a boy or a girl or whatever you're born or however you identify or whatever gender whatever. If you want to be tomorrow gay, tomorrow straight, and the next day every other freaking gender, then go do it. Like whoever you want to like. And I can tell you one thing, I'm not going to care. As long as you're not hurting me, do whatever you want to do. This is K.Short. Welcome to Short Talk Sunday. Just wanted y'all to get a different perspective on the world and letting y'all know that there's someone out there that has this idea that gender is fluid and that life is more of a grayscale than black or white. So I hope y'all join me next Sunday for Short Talks. Have a good one. Tonight we're going to be talking about the idea, for me, that after receiving a degree at Northern Arizona University, okay,